Hey y'all, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. This is my second time trying to film this video. Well, really it's like my 10th time of little clips, but I actually filmed a 40-minute video, and then I went to edit it and I realized that well, my brain is just dumb and it just was dumb. Okay, it was dumb. And I was talking about a million different things, and yeah. What we're going to be talking about today is this isn't my first just talking video, but I think it might be actually. I have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure this is my first video of me just talking, just speaking. It's Lifewithlanea and Tyrex. These are two YouTubers that I watch and that I am a fan of. They might not be like Shane Dawson and Tati Westbrook and all that good stuff, but these are two YouTubers that I am a fan of. And recently, they have had a falling out that's led to them not being cool anymore, which, boo, I'm not a fan of it. But I want to talk about the situation because Lifewithlanea did a live that she saved, and it's still on her Instagram. Y'all go watch it if you want to see what I'm talking about, because I'm not going to be showing the whole thing. I'm just going to be talking about it. Literally, I'm not going to show barely any of it. And where she basically kind of was dragging Tyreek and just being real, staticky, just real, yeah. And Tyreek hasn't made any formal response to it. And I just want to talk about the situation and how most of the comments under her live are just so y'all know how people are normalize telling your favorite creator when they've done something wrong. Normalize holding your creators accountable. And I'm all on board with that. I'm all on board with accountability. I'm all on board with holding people accountable. Ain't nobody do that for Milena in this situation. Ain't not one person under that post hold her accountable. Literally. Maybe literally one person held her accountable. I saw all people be like, yes, queen, go off. Yes, queen. Yeah, you right. Only thing you did wrong was be successful, all this stuff. But we'll get deeper into that. Let's formally get into the freaking video.
Why don't you get it by now? Tell me what you learned in grade school. Give it to me like you want it. Did you forget that golden rule? Why is our love at one-sided? It should really be give and take. Fill you up and leave me empty. Baby, was that my mistake?
First thing I want to talk about is just the situation from what we've been told by Milena. So the situation is this. Basically, for a few months, she has been feeling like Tyreek has been acting distant towards her and has not been being warm towards her and just been being real, acting like he didn't really want anything to do with her, he didn't really want to hang out. When they did hang out, he would give her the cold shoulder, things of that nature. So she's been feeling like he's been acting weird towards her, so she texts him and is like, hey, what's the dealio? What's been happening? What's wrong? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember acting any type of way towards you. I don't remember. And she said that made her feel some type of way because she's like, you saying you didn't remember is basically like you saying it didn't happen. It's like you saying what I'm saying isn't valid because you can't remember, so it didn't happen. And that made her feel some type of way. And then, it's times this, she's like, okay, I'm going to fall back from him. I'm going to treat him how he treat me, give him the cold shoulder too. Then, a situation happens where she goes to this graduation party and, she's cold towards him, like how she feels like he does her. And he's like, what's wrong? She's just like, nothing. And then they decide to go to Florida together. It's a whole bunch of people, but she invites him with her to Florida. Does that make sense? She invites him with her to Florida. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so they go to Florida, and I guess it's all good and fun and games on the first day. Then the second day is where, the kind of hits the fan, where Tyreek tells Milena's friend, Bailey, that he's jealous of Milena. And saying that he doesn't like being around her when she vlogs. She like being around when she does YouTube because he feel like she does it better than him, and so that makes him just jealous. He's jealous of her. He doesn't like it. He's jealous of her. And so Bailey tells Tyreek, hey, you know what? Use that jealousy as motivation, you know, to do better for yourself and better your YouTube channel. Don't use that. Don't let it be a negative feeling, you know, turn it into a positive. Which, you know, I'm all game for. Like, yeah, turn your negative feelings to motivation for you to do better and to motivate yourself. And then Bailey runs and tells Milena, Tyreek said that he's jealous of you. Like, oh my God. And Milena's like, what? Like, this makes her, her reaction I'm confused by, but this makes her angry for some reason. This angers her. And so, where'd my phone go? But yeah, this angers her for some reason. And, you know, she's upset by it. She's mad. And so she tells homeboy, she tells, I'm sorry. She tells Tyreek's close friend that's on the trip, basically, that she's done with Tyreek and all this stuff, and he's this, he's that, he's the third, because he says he's jealous of her. Of course, his friend tells him, and he's like, girl, like, let me tell you straight like this, blah, 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 blah. Tells him to see that Milena told her. So he now knows that Milena knows. So he goes to Milena's basically like, yeah, I know you know. And she's like, I know you know what. And they playing coy, whatever the heck. And then he's like, yeah, then he tells her, I'm not the type of jealous of you that I want you to feel bad about yourself or that I want bad things to happen to you. I'm the type of jealous that when I see you do great, it makes me sad. Which we'll get into that. For now, I'm just telling the story. I ain't gonna tell my opinions yet. But even though I think I already have. But so that happens, and Milena's just kind of like, okay. She doesn't really give an outward reaction to it. She's just saying okay. And then he repeats himself. He tells her that, and then he dips. While they're at the house, he's talking to other people in the house about it too, like saying, hey, I feel like Milena's mad at me, or like, I just told her that I'm jealous of her, like, I'm jealous of Milena, and then I feel like it's putting a strain on her, whatever he was saying to them. She just said that he was talking crap about her, but she wasn't specific about what he was saying. She just said that, like, because if he's going to people, I'm trying to just tell what happened without giving my opinion, but I gotta get my opinion on this part. She's saying that he's talking crap about her to everybody in the house, but she's saying that what he's saying is I'm jealous of her to everybody in the house. So I'm confused on how that's talking crap, because if somebody tells me such and such said they're jealous of you, I'm like, oh, that's not talking crap about you. Like, if anything, that make you look good and that make them look bad. Like, that's not talking crap about you. Like, she didn't say what crap he was talking about her. And then I think to her sister, he said like, oh, Milena's confused me or making me mad or something along those lines because she's acting like she's mad at me or something. I don't know. Something about Milena confusing him or Milena acting like she's mad at him or something along those lines. That's what he said. That's the only thing where I could see it being like negative a little bit, but even then that's not really negative because you were mad at him and so you were acting like you were mad at him. Like, that's not talking trash. This is what happened, boo. But then he's like, telling other people, and she talks, so she gets on the phone with her dad, who's like a best friend to her, you know, and I can relate to that. I have that type of relationship where my mom will call her up and be like, girl, let me tell you what's tea, and apparently that's her relationship with her father. So they're on the phone, she's telling them, and then Tyreek, so Ty can hear her, and Lena's just like going off, I guess, and he can hear her, and so he goes to Bailey, who is her friend, and is like, Bailey, like, I can hear her talking about me, like, what do I do? Da-da-da. He's really upset about it. And so Bailey texts Milena, and is like, oh yeah, he can hear you, da-da-da. Like, he asking me what to do, LOL, I don't know. Like, I told him I don't know what to do. But so, that's a whole nother, I don't, something about it is something I don't like. Like, it stirs in my spirit the wrong way. The way that Miss Girl Bailey, it seems like, this is what I said. I got into it with a friend once because, this is a little side story. Remember where we left off? This is a side story. But I got into it with a friend once because I was on group FaceTime with her now this is like my best friend, my sister, we attached at the hip, like, and everybody knows it too. And it was her, this other girl who I was also friends with, but we wasn't close like that, but we was good friends. And then there's this random dude, right? We all on, he not random, but like, to me he was random. I didn't know him, they knew him. We on the phone and they playing games and stuff, like, not playing games like y'all playing games. There was literal games, like they were literally playing some game. But as they're on the phone, I'm about to get in the car. I said, oh, you know what? I gotta go because I'm about to get in the car. I gotta go. I get off the phone. I'm in the car. I get to school the next day, and my friend lets me know. She's like, girl, he was talking about you. He was saying this, that, and the third. I'm like, yo, why is this dude who I barely know like that talking about me? Like, what? And number two, why does this dude feel comfortable talking about me in the group FaceTime with my best friend? You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude would not feel comfortable to continue coming to you talking about Melena if you was receiving it in the way that you're making it seem like you were receiving it to Melena. Because I seen people in the comments saying that too, like, oh yeah, Bailey a real rider, Bailey was going to step for you. No, she wasn't, because if he was really talking trash about you to her, she would have shut it down the first time. She would have been like, no, that's my best friend. You got something to say about her? Go say it to her. Matter of fact, she in the house. Come on, let's go. Let's go do this right here, right now. That's how she would have handled that. Instead of just being like, oh, I don't know. Like, meanwhile, she texting you, telling you like, oh yeah, girl, like he over here doing this, that, and the third. That's the way that you handle it when you being a little bit two-faced. In my opinion, that's two-faced, because me personally, if I was in that situation and somebody's talking, especially somebody who's considered like cousins, in my mind, y'all go around calling each other cousins, like family. To me, I'm gonna think one or two things. One, I feel like you're talking trash about my best friend, and I ain't about to tolerate that. And two, if y'all consider yourselves family, this is now a family affair that I don't got a good place. I don't got a really real good place in. But that's just me. This was my world. This was life with Maddie. This ain't life with Maddie. This is life with Lena. So basically, that happens, and then he's just upset. They come back from the trip, and while they're at the airport, he posts a tweet saying like, he reposts a tweet saying like, I shouldn't be prosecuted for talking about my feelings. Something about like talking about his feelings shouldn't be met with a negative reaction. Blah 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 blah. And he was like, this is how I feel, but nobody understands me or whatever. Melena saw it. She was upset about it. She didn't say nothing. Then he posted something else saying, I will never compromise, or maybe that was the first one he posted. But it was like, I will never compromise my mental health for no relationship, friendship, or anything. And then that upset her too, because she felt like she was being subtweeted. So she was like, slid up on that. She was basically like, yeah, don't be subtweeting because I didn't do anything to you, all this stuff. Like, you want me to apologize because you're jealous of me? And he was like, no, like, I've always supported you and all this stuff. I'm just was expressing a feeling that I was having with my friend, and it was met poorly and all this stuff. And to make a long freaking story short, y'all, like, that's where it left off, and they just kind of agreed. She just kind of was like, yeah, lose my number before I have to block you. And that was that. This is where I will get into my opinions on the situation. Now, throughout the video, I will try to put like screenshots and stuff of what I'm talking about. But this is my opinions. Now, like I said, the reason that made me want to make this video is because a lot of people under Melena's posts and stuff were just acting like she was all 100% right and had no sins in the situation, and like Tyreek was 100% wrong, and like he was just the devil. And I only saw one person under his post like talking about his point of view and why like he wasn't 100% wrong, and how like be considerate of his feelings as well, because like, I get it, you mad. She kept saying in her life, who wants a jealous friend? Who wants a jealous friend? And like, boo, I'm right there with you. Nobody wants a jealous friend. Nobody wants a friend who's jealous of them. Nobody wants a friend who's in competition with them instead of trying to help them and trying to cheer them on. Nobody wants a friend like that. But at the same time, from what I've seen and what I heard, it didn't seem like he had malintent. It didn't seem like he was like, I'm jealous of you, so I'm gonna take you down, girl. I'm gonna throw your camera in the pool so you can't make videos from throw your editing software break it so you can't, like, it didn't sound like he was trying to sabotage you. It sounded like he was coming from a place of love when he told you, like, hey friend, like, I'm jealous of you, but at the same time, like, I still have love for you. It's not a jealous where I wish you harm. It's a jealous where it's just your success reminds me of my shortcomings, of where I'm falling short. This is me freestyling here, just so you know. I don't want it to sound like I'm trying to, like, you know, say this is where he was coming from. I'm just saying what it looks like to me and why, like, I don't feel like he's 100% wrong, and why we'll get into why I don't think she was 100% right. He hasn't put out his side of the story yet, but she put out her side of the story and some more. So we got a clear point of view of where she coming from. We don't got a 100% clear point of view of where he coming from. But so basically that happens, and yeah, and I feel like he didn't have any malintent towards you. I feel like he was struggling with his own inner demon of jealousy, and of his jealousy for you, mixed with his insecurities about whatever it is that he's going through, about where he wants to be in his life, and things internally going on with him. And you took that very personally, as of he's jealous of you and he's not happy for you because he is sad by your success. You know what I mean? And you like, are you, and in that point we could relate. Like, same like you said, I'm the type of friend, my friends successful, I'm in that front row, like, scream. Ask any of my friends. One thing I'm always do is support my friends, because period. Because simply period. I feel like she took that very negatively, when I think what he was aiming for was a heart-to-heart moment where he was able to sit down with her and say, hey Melena, I'm jealous of you. I'm gonna just say it flat out. I didn't say it before when you asked me about it, and that's what was grinding her gears too. She was saying, like, she asked him what the issue was and he didn't tell her. Instead he lied. But think about it from the perspective of somebody who's jealous of somebody. You have to admit to somebody to their face that it's hard for you to witness their success and be 100% happy for them because you're jealous of their success, because you yourself are not as successful as you want to be. That's gotta be a spoonful of swallowing your pride. Like, for real. Even to admit it to other people. It's gotta be. Because you really have to admit two things: that somebody is doing better than you, and that you are not where you're supposed to be. Which, disclaimer, comparison is the killer of all joy, because you're sitting there comparing yourself to somebody else who is in a similar lane to you, but at the end of the day, the only people who we need to be competing with is ourselves. Like, I'm my own competition. I'm competing with myself. But, like, we need to be competing with ourselves. We need to be looking at what we did yesterday and how we going to level up today. Like, that's literally how we need to move. Because if not, then all that's going to end up happening is there's always going to be somebody better than you. There's always going to be somebody better than you if you're comparing yourself to the world and to people, just people. Like, you know what I mean? But you are yourself. There is nobody else in the world who is like you. There's nobody else in the world who is you. So at the end of the day, you can't, it's not a fair comparison to put you against somebody else, because y'all are not the same. Y'all do not have the exact same lives. Y'all do not have the exact same mental. Y'all don't have the exact same physical anything. Nobody's 100% the same. So you can't, it's not fair to put yourself against somebody who's not you. You need to be battling with yourself, and that's what really will put you on your grind, being like, I did this yesterday, let me see if I can do this today. Let me see if I can do this the next day. Let me see if I can level up yourself. You can't control nobody else. You can control yourself. You need to be competing with yourself. But anyway, it's my iPad running out of storage, so I may have to switch to my phone for me. That's why you can't compete with other people. You have to compete with yourself. You have to be constantly trying to one-up yourself, because once you add other people into the equation, it's just going to stress you out. And what are you doing? Instead of putting work into yourself and your growth, you're putting work into worrying about somebody else. And that's stopping your own ground, which is halting your own movement, your own success. And we ain't having that. Melena's upset. She goes on live, and somebody asks about Tyrex, and she goes off. She spazzes completely. And in the live, she says, you know, like, all this stuff. She's going off. And all I could think is, like, she's saying some stuff that I don't know, I would find hurtful. If I was Tyrese, I would find hurtful. I would find hurtful. Like, I would be like, dang, she was talking about how he was talking to other people, and now so she's like, those aren't even your friends. Those people that not even your friends. Those were my friends. Da-da-da-da. You was only there because I brought you there and all this stuff. And I'm like, girl, this is where we get into my grievances with the way Milena handled this situation. Grievance number one is, if you didn't like him, and not even if you didn't like him, but if you knew y'all were having issues and y'all weren't in a good place in your relationship, why would you bring him on a week-long trip? That looks like a recipe for disaster that you literally stirred up for yourself. You knew already before you planned the trip that y'all were not in a good place. You knew that. You already acknowledged it. And then you said, like, oh yeah, and then such and such, another friend of yours was telling you that you shouldn't be friends with him and that you was looking for a reason to drop him. Like, girl, do you know how you sound? You sound like really just problematic, because you don't need, this is another disclaimer, not to go on another rant before I run out of storage on this phone too, but you do not need a valid reason to stop being friends with somebody. You know what the valid reason is? That you don't want to be their friend. That's the valid reason. That's how we prevent all this whole, oh, I don't really like you as a person, or I don't really like the way you treat me, or the way that I feel like you're treating me. So what's going to happen is I'm just going to keep on not liking you, but pretending like I do. So I'm ending up in a situation where I'm like low-key being fake. Because if you have an issue with somebody, the first thing you're supposed to do, take it up with them. They don't respond the way you want them to respond. You have literally 100% in the green light to end that friendship, end that connection. You have no obligation to stay in a friendship that you are not happy in. Period. Like, at all. People can say you're wrong, that you didn't have no reason to, this, that, and the third. Only reason you need is that you don't want to be in it no more. And that's that. Like, literally. But, like, I understand being like, oh, you need a valid reason, but look at how you sound when now you were cousins with this person. That's your play cousin. Y'all so cool. Y'all so close. And then all of a sudden, it's, you was looking for a reason to drop him because he been acting funny. You was looking for a reason. You was looking for a reason. You got your reason. Now you gone. Another point, Miss Milena. It's like, no. I mean, I'm the same way. When I get mad and when somebody does something to me where I feel like you are now cut off, we are now not close no more, all my gloves are off and I'm literally like under the belt punches, like it's just go, 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 go. I feel like she didn't think though about how this person just came to you telling you they're jealous of you. You aired them out and cut them off and in your private life, and now have aired them out and cut them off publicly to your audience, who is now going to go to this person and like, gloves are off based off of the tone that you had where your gloves was off. Now your audience gloves are now off as well, and they're gunning for him. Like, I looked at his comments right after I watched it. Like, I didn't even finish it all the way through at first. Then I went back and watched it because I said I want to talk about this and I want to make sure I know the whole story, and it might change my point of view a little bit. And so I go, like, she literally was saying, if you was a female, I would have fought you. If you was a female, I would have fought you. You lucky you do. You lucky you do. Because if you was a female, we would have been, hands would be thrown. I'm throwing hands. I'm like, if I was in this situation, I wouldn't find this to be something to fight about, first and foremost. Like, and me, anybody who knows my personal life, I don't need no big old reason to fight. Only reason I need to fight is that I want to fight. And that you want to fight, we fight. Like, that's just how I am. But this, he wasn't being confrontational with you. He was being very, you could say he was being passive aggressive, which, yeah, is wrong. Shouldn't have been. We gonna get into what he did wrong. We gonna get to that. But first we want Milena. And like, I feel like she took it to another level that it didn't need to go to. I feel like the situation could have been, I'm saying we could have been, I feel like they could have been really civil and just decided we no longer need to be friends, and that, hey, you're jealous of me, my light is making you realize that you're dim, or whatever you want to say, however you want to be. But now I do not want to continue this friendship with you because I only want friends who can be 100% happy for me, and you are telling me that you cannot do that, which is fine, but now I'm ending the connection, and that's that on that. Or way back when you realized he was acting funny, you could have literally just said, hey, I feel like you gaslighting me all the time. That's what she said. He used to gaslight her when she would say, hey, you're acting this way. He'd be like, I don't remember acting like that. Nope, I didn't do that. And she felt like he was gaslighting her because, like, I'm telling you this is how you were acting, and now you're telling me it just ain't happened. Like, what? I know what happened. I felt it. You telling me that you telling me what? That I'm crazy? But she felt like he was gaslighting her, and she didn't like that. But I'm like, right when it happened, girl, fully in agreement, like to say, yeah, this is not the first time you've tried to gaslight me. This is not the first time you've been acting funny. I'm ending the connection now. Dead the friendship. It's done. And it would have been, you speak your piece, queen. Like, you right. Go off. And you right. And it would have been that. Instead, you remained in a friendship that you knew you weren't happy in and that you felt bad vibes about for what exactly? Because from the way you're portraying online, on that live, and yeah, online, like the way you're selling it to us, it wasn't good. Like, it was terrible. You didn't like it. And so what purpose did you have for staying in that? Like, what was the purpose? I'm confused about it. Same thing for Tyrex. Like, y'all mutually seems like you were having a bad time in this friendship. Why drag it out? Not so much Tyrex as Malena, but why drag it out? Because I'll get into that. I'm mixing up, but I'm trying to stay on one topic so I can go boom, boom, boom. And I feel like that was just OC to do, like, at the end of the day. And then all the way down to saying, like, yeah, none of those people in that house, just, though, you're unintentionally, I feel like you're kind of, not bullying, that's not the word. Like, and I'm not saying I'm bullying, it doesn't remind me of bullying at all. Maybe bullying, I would say, I don't know the word for it, but you sicking your viewers on him. Like, look at his comments. And then somebody had to tell you in the comments, like, yeah, this might make somebody feel like, I'll put it in. This might make somebody feel, like, this might make somebody want to hurt themselves. This amount of hate that they're probably going to get. She's like, oh, well, don't nobody send him hate. Then she told people to unfollow him because, yeah, if they don't agree, unfollow him. But don't send him hate. Like, girl, this is not grounds for unfollowing, for not giving him your support. This isn't grounds for that. It's not that serious. Like, it's not that serious. It's that serious for you to say, I no longer want to be friends with you, but it's not that serious for us to be like, oh yeah, now we need to unfollow him and not support him. For what? For what? Because he was jealous of you? And he wasn't a good friend to you? Like, you know what I mean? That's not the same thing as if somebody is, like, genuinely problematic, where they're genuinely, you know, it's not the same thing to me. And I felt like she was wrong for saying that. Like, you telling people to go unfollow him, and, like, the internet has a mob mentality anyway. Everybody who's ever been on the internet knows that. You've been in any comment section where all you see is praise to somebody who's, like, not really doing something that needs to be praised 100%. Where my lip gloss at? I need to touch up on my lip gloss. It's not as popping as it was at the beginning of this video. But, like, yeah, you just see people praising people who are not necessarily doing something that's praiseworthy. But that's how I feel about Malena. I feel like and then when he came to her initially, even though it came from somebody else, and we gonna talk about that, but even though it came from somebody else, when he originally came to her and said, like, hey, Malena, I'm jealous of you, I don't understand why her gut reaction was to be so, like, that. I understand being irritated, like, what? Because it's low-key, like, when you ask somebody, what's wrong? And they're like, nothing's wrong. That makes me so mad. Nothing's wrong. Then all of a sudden they blow up. Be like, I just, da-da-da-da. It's like, girl, didn't I ask you what was wrong? Or, boy, didn't I ask you what's wrong? If I ask you, tell me what's wrong. Instead of just saying nothing's wrong, so then what? So now you got a chance to blow up on me? No. Tell me what's wrong. But so, I understand her irritation with that, but I don't understand why. I don't know. I guess people have different values, you know what I mean? And then this what she said. She said, it's even in the Bible. Jealousy is a sin. It's even in the Bible. That part made me go, girl. Like, just because, girl, like, you know what I mean? She was like, why didn't you think I wouldn't have a problem with the fact that you're jealous of me? Because I feel like if somebody were to tell me, hey, Nay, I'm jealous of you, you know, like, you got these pretty blonde braids, like, you just out here killing the game, I would have been like, oh, like, you're jealous of me. You don't gotta be jealous. You don't gotta be jealous. We could all have blonde braids. Like, you know what? It's not that serious. It's not that serious to be jealous over. Or if it's my friend is saying, I'm jealous of you, so it makes me sad when you are successful, I would have been like, oh, like, girl, that's a problem. That's a problem that you cannot be happy for me as a friend. But that's not enough of a problem where I'm gonna be mad, like, ready to fight you over. What? And then, like, you telling everybody that you're jealous of me, I would be like, girl, that's not a good look for you. Like, people just seeing you as this, like, jealous person. It's not good. It's not cute. You know? But I don't see it escalating to a fight just in my head. And I think, yeah, that's the only part. But I do understand why it would make her upset to feel like she's not getting genuine love from her friend, and now she has to cut them off, and that her friend has been gaslighting her, this person who she's so close to, now she just feels like she wants to cut them off. I understand her frustration with that. I understand her anger at feeling like he wasn't being understanding of her feelings. Like, he was just thinking about how, yeah, like, this is the right thing to do to communicate, and he wasn't thinking about the possibility that it wouldn't be well received. And so she said, like, yeah, she felt like he was saying, oh, yeah, your time for being angry is up. You know, like, that type of thing. And I'm like, yeah, people do that. People will come and apologize and not even think of the possibility that you have the right to say, I don't accept your apology. You know? So I understand those points of hers, and I understand, like, that. But I still feel like what I say she was wrong for, I feel like she was wrong for. And generally speaking, she's wrong for. When you, and I want to highlight this again, when you have an audience, okay, and you have people watching you and people who will follow your lead, you know what I'm saying? So you could say, don't go and send this person hate. What did Tati Westbrook say to James Charles when his numbers was tanking? She said, don't send James any hate, okay? I don't want James to see any hate. What did James see? Hate. He saw hate, racks on racks on racks hate, and the accusations wasn't even true. But so, yeah, like, you just have to realize the power you have when you have an audience, that you send in, anytime you speak out about somebody or have drama with somebody as a big creator like you are, Melena, her name is so pretty, but when you, as a big creator as you are, like, hate is going to come towards that person, period. And you should understand that that responsibility is on you to know the weight of that. Like, literally. And think about the capacity that how much somebody can actually take of that hate from so many people. I'm just saying. Food for thought. Eat it up. Nom nom nom. On to my boy Tyrell. I'm just going to say this. I feel for you in this situation. I really do. I feel bad about I don't know. I know if I was in this situation, okay, let me put it like this. I ain't never been jealous. What? That, I did not finish that sentence. I'm not about to cap. I have been jealous of people, and I've been jealous of friends even. Yeah, I've been jealous of my friends and certain things that my friends have done that, like, I am not doing that I want to do, or things that I haven't gotten on, like, even, like, you know, I've been jealous of my friends before, but that, I always make sure that my support and my love for my friends outshine that little green-eyed monster, you know what I'm saying? But I still feel for, if you are struggling and you see somebody else flourishing, it's going to make you feel some type of way. It's going to make you feel like, dang, I'm sitting here drowning and they flying, you know? But if it's somebody who you love, that brings you joy because you see them flying regardless. You may be drowning, but you still see them flying, and you're like, yeah, like, you know what? Yeah. I might not be where I'm at, but at least they getting where they need to be at. I love that for them. And you gotta make sure that overshines that, you know. But I definitely understand where you're coming from. You said just thing, and then on top of that, her fans coming after you is 100% wrong. They shouldn't even be doing that, and she shouldn't have. I don't know, just the way she went about it to me, and then the fact that, okay, just gonna pop this in here. Not at the end of the day, this is Melena's business, and this is Tyrek's business, and this is just her life that she's choosing to share parts of it with us. Now here's the tea. Her and Bailey got into a falling out. They were not cool. They are back cool now. She's telling us, yeah, basically she texted him like, y'all want to go to dinner? Bailey was like, you can have dinner at my house. They talked about it. She said she apologized for something that she did wrong, and they talked it out, and they're cool now. But it was a big falling out apparently. And she literally can be quoted saying, Bailey can choke. She could choke. Now, there was never this big old thing with Bailey where she dragged her online and all that stuff, but even though they did have an issue, but they're back cool now, but she's done this to Tyreek, which has now put him in this position where he's receiving these large amounts of hate from her followers. So that just goes to show that you're capable of, you know, controlling what you release. You just chose not to in this situation, which is your choice. At the end of the day, it's your business, but that's a poor choice to make when you should know anyway, that your audience, like, you have a large audience. When you got a large audience, you can say, bruh, this random YouTuber, such and such, I hate their shoes. Their comments will be flooded with, your shoes is ugly, your shoes is ugly, your shoes is ugly. Simply because that's how this mob mentality works online. I feel for you in this situation simply because I didn't see enough people feeling for you, and maybe that activated my empathy glands extra. Because, like, I'll tell you, it was making me feel some type of way. Like, I was just like, wow, this isn't right. This isn't right. The way you're being treated right now is not right. Now, I will say where you were wrong, because I love your videos. I'm a supporter of you. Same thing with Melena. And that is why I will call y'all when you're wrong. And plus, I just want to. Number one, you had an issue with your close friend whom you loved, allegedly. So what do you do when that happens? You go to the source and you talk it out if you want to resolve the issue. If you don't want to resolve the issue and you say, like, if being friends with Melena and seeing her success, like, in your face like that was really that detrimental to your mental health, what do? You back out. You hit that reverse and you back out of the situation. Just like Melena, you knew that you were having issues in this friendship. If you did not want to resolve them, when Melena asked you, hey, dude, what's going on? Don't lie and say, oh, I don't know, I don't remember. Because even if these specific instances you don't remember, you remember that jealousy that you're feeling. You remember those issues that you're feeling. And when she invited you to go on that trip, you should have declined, because why would you want to go on a week-long trip? Oh, I'm getting PTSD. Why would you want to go on a week-long trip with somebody who you don't like? With somebody who being around makes you feel down? On vacation. Why would you want to go on vacation with that person? Make it make sense to me, please. Because here's the tea. One thing that I will never understand is when people choose to put themselves in miserable situations. That's why my friends probably don't like talking to me about their boyfriends now. Because what do they say? Girl, he getting around, then leave. Peace out. Like, for real. Then leave. Ain't nothing forcing you to stay. Ain't nothing forcing you into this relationship, into this friendship. Ain't nothing. So leave, because you're not happy. Like, for your sake. And her sake. If you love him, then set him free. Amen? Amen. Because at the end of the day, it makes zero sense when all this could be prevented by either talking through the issues rationally or deciding that it was just better to distance yourself. Like, honestly. But instead, you decided to go on a week-long freaking trip and thought everything was going to be peaches and roses. And you know she's a vlogger. And it makes you feel some type of way when she vlogs around you. What you think she finna be doing on a week-long trip to Florida if she's a vlogger? She gonna be vlogging. Come on now. But anyways, Like, and then on top of that, I am guilty of this myself. I think a lot of times I end up in situations where I'm in hot water because I think I'm closer to somebody than I actually am. I will tell somebody, hey, oh my God, say something, and I realize, oh, you're not a friend like I thought you was a friend. Melena on live, yeah, none of those people in the house are your friend. That was wrong of her to do, because just think of how that makes you feel when you think somebody's your friend, and in reality now Melena's saying like, yeah, no, all of these people that you thought were your friend, that you thought you could confide in, are not your friends. They're my friends. Everything you was saying, they were coming reporting it back to me, and we was laughing about how you sound. Like, that's cold, bruh. That's cold. But that's why you gotta. Oh, I'm recording on my phone. Dumb dummy. I'm dumb. I asked him, when you said that Melena's success made you sad, did you mean like it reminded you of your insecurities? Because that's the point y'all stand to. He said, yeah, pretty much. I was just discouraged. Didn't mean no harm, but just the wrong things. But I'm post that now. I think he means past that now. Say I'm not going to tell him. I'm going to be like, I'm making a video on the situation, but I ain't going to say that. The way it was handled was a hot mess. LMAO. But it's not how I had it, but different angle check. But I did want to get a little bit of his like POV and what that does change my opinion a little bit, I think. But yeah, I still stand by, he should have spoken to her directly before speaking to Bailey. Before talking to anybody else, he should have talked to her. And before going on a week-long trip, he should have talked to her. When she approached him saying he was acting weird, even if he didn't think he was acting weird, he should have talked to her. That was the open door. That was the invitation. That's what he should have been like, oh, my foot in the door, let me go in and let me say what's up, because this will help strengthen our friendship when you tell your friend how you feeling. And Melena, as a friend, if she was really a true friend and he was really giving that clear communication, it wouldn't have ended like this. And they probably would have still been cool. Who knows? Unless she really just hate jealous people that daggone much, then it would have been what it is. To sum it all up for y'all, my ending thoughts. Oh yeah, before I end it, let me talk about Miss Bailey. She's in a situation, but even though she's not like a main contender, I still want to talk about her because it made me feel some type of way. I did say a little bit of an anecdote, but I just want to come back around to it, tie up that little loose end, and say I do not like the way Bailey played her role in this. Because if she was a true friend to Melena, even though, yeah, she's saying like, oh yeah, she wasn't no friend to Tyreek, she didn't like Tyreek, like not she didn't like him, but they weren't friends. As a third party who knows this is somebody who your best friend or somebody who you love cares about, by an extension, I now care about you as well. Because if I care about this person and this person cares about you very much, I now care about you. Even if it's not like, oh yeah, we cool, we best friends, I care about you. And so if I see there's a rift between you, knowing that my friend cares about you, I know that that's affecting my friend. Affecting my friend in a negative way. So as that friend to my friend, even if I'm not a friend to you, I'm still going to say, hey, let me bridge this. Let me say, you talking to me and saying, okay, yeah, you jealous of her and this make you feel so way. Come on. Come, boo. We're going to come and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this and we're going to air everything out and we're going to fix this. Either we're going to fix this or we're going to decide not to fix it. This should not have been done on a trip anyway. Just because, that's duh. At the same time, the way she handled it was a hot mess. Why you run around to Melena? Why didn't you come? And why you do it the messy way? Like, that's messy to me. Because that shows that you were not trying to resolve any issues. You weren't trying to fix any rifts. You weren't trying to come up with a solution. You just wanted to stoke the fire. Because you could tell Melena was already irritated. She was already feeling some type of way about him, which why would you invite somebody on a trip if you're feeling some type of way about them? But we already been over that. But she was already feeling some type of way about them. So why did you stoke that fire instead of saying, you know what, we on a trip. What I want to do in Florida? Do I want to have drama in Florida or do I want to turn up? I want to turn up in Florida. So the turn up can commence without any hitches. Let me bring you and let's sit down and I'll mediate. And let's talk it out. Let's deal with it. But instead, she decided to go, Melena, he said, da, 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 knowing that was going to make her go, she knew that was going to make her feel some type of way. Because she was already feeling some type of way. And then that also was going to make Tyrex feel some type of way because he feel like, dang, like, I just was telling you that in low-key confidence, but you told her, and now it's kind of making everything a little messy. Melena, instead of going to Tyreek and being like, hey, this is what it is, like, what's going on? Like, talk to me. I'm your friend. Why you don't feel like you could talk to me? That's another issue all in its own. Instead, she goes and tells his friend so his friend could tell her. Like, why are y'all doing it like this? It's so childish. Go directly to the person you got the issue with. Duh. That was my thoughts on the situation. And yeah, like, that's just that on that. What this video was, I just wanted to put in my 2 cents about the situation and say how I felt. Like, the YouTubers that I watch and I really enjoy, normally nothing ever really happens in their communities because they're genuinely just unproblematic people who just make content that's like good content and they move on with their lives. But this situation happened with 2 creators that I very much love and who, you know, actually were connected to each other, and now this situation happened and the way it was handled was just a hot mess. But at the end of the day, I still love them both, still sending love, so much love both their ways, so excited to see their success. And yeah, like, that's that on that. Even though I don't have any, like, even though I'm not their best friend, I ain't gonna pop up in their house and knock on their door and like sit on their bed and be like, girl, this is me checking you. I still want to put my opinion out into the internet and just let it be known because yeah, period, because I can, freedom of speech. So no, but just because, you know, and I haven't made a YouTube video in so long, and this kind of inspired me, gave me something that I actually wanted to talk about and something that I actually wanted to make a video about. So you know what they say, when inspiration strikes, you better take that. You better run for it because you don't know when it's going to come again. For me, it hasn't been around for a while. So I still do not have an upload schedule. So technically, I have been uploading on time because there's no time where I'm supposed to upload. So I got y'all there. But yeah, oh yeah, and I got a new subscriber. Her name is like Jazzy, I don't know. Jazzy, I'm gonna put it in. It's gonna be in right here, like literally. And I use iMovie, so it's gonna be like boop, 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 letters because I don't know how to edit. Like, you're kind of lit for that. Now I have 9 subscribers. But yeah, this is just this. Wanted to put in my 2 cents, my 2 piece in a biscuit. Thank y'all so much for watching. Moral of the story is there are a million sides to a story. No side is 100% correct. Okay, please like, comment, and subscribe, and be back because I'm gonna make another video like one day. So basically, these are some of the comments I was talking about, like where people are kind of just in his comments coming at him. These aren't really like the worst ones, there's some. This is the text that the girl posted or whatever, like commented, where I was like, yes, this is the point of view that I was thinking from when I was watching that stuff. These is more comments that's low-key unnecessary, except for that go live one. I mean, I don't know. That was kind of neutral, but like still, it's the being jealous for me, a child is too much for me, all that stuff. But yeah.